What the Indiana Fever have done up to this point has been nothing short of remarkable. You look at the season they went through with the Caitlin Clark injury, and then you saw Sophie Cunningham go down. They picked up McDonald as a backup point guard. She goes down for the season. Bibby looked like the reliable shooter. She goes down for the season. Dantas is dealing with a concussion situation, and the list goes on. And the only hope you have at that point is the Fever can try and squeak out a game against the Atlanta Dream. They go down 2-1 in that series. And what do we see happen? They tied up, they go to Atlanta and get to the semifinals. At that point, you're like, you know what? They're playing with house money. They're playing the Aces. The Aces have turned their season around. Asia Wilson won the MVP, even though I think Nafisa Collier should have won that award. At the end of the day, they are one win away from the WNBA Finals, even if they lose tomorrow. And I think that will happen. And if I'm wrong, I'll be happily wrong about that prediction. They have exceeded expectations because my prediction for the Fever this season was to at least make the semifinals. They've accomplished that despite the adversity because a lot of people didn't expect Stephanie White to implement a system from the Connecticut Sun to Indiana. And it doesn't work for this roster because when you look at the style that the Fever need to play with, Natasha Howard is better when she's running in transition. She gets easier baskets that way. Kelsey Mitchell is better when she can play in transition, play off Caitlin Clark, or score in isolation when it's needed. And when Caitlin Clark is playing her style of basketball and you're not trying to turn her into a reliable defender because that's not one of her strengths right now, the Fever are that much better when they're playing in transition. For them to be at this point, despite all the injuries, and you looked at the adversity they've dealt with. Game 3 was ugly. It was just really nasty. And they had their chances. They were up by 3 points, 56-53. And the game swung in the last minute because the Aces got that unbelievable layup at the end of the third quarter, which put them up 3 points. And that's what really shifted things. And the Aces took full control from then on out. But then you come into game 4, you're thinking, okay, at this point, if they lose at home, oh well. But no, the Fever refuse to die. And going to game 5, I'm going to say the same thing. Keep it close. Put all the pressure on the Aces. Make Jackie Young knock down those open shots. Make Asia Wilson knock down the shots. The MVP. Like everything is on the Aces to win. They're expected to win. They should be. But if the Fever can keep this game close, they muck it up. They keep things interesting. And we get 20-plus points from Mitchell and Boston. And again, Odyssey Sims, she has her moments where she's really good, other moments not so good. She was 6 of 9 from the field. That's great. If we get any production from her tomorrow, and Lexi Hall shoots better than 1 of 7 from 3, tomorrow night is going to be very interesting. It doesn't matter what happens at this point because next season, a fully healthy Fever roster should be one of the contenders next year. No doubt about it. Because you look at around the league right now, the Lynx, they couldn't get to the WNBA Finals. It's unfortunate what happened to Nafisa Collier. And people call that a dirty play. And I was like, no, that was a clean steal by Alyssa Thomas. And then you look at what's going on to Liberty. Right now, they fired their coach. You saw what the GM had to say. It was ridiculous. Right? That man had to say in the press conference about why they fired their coach. And I think Sabrina Ionescu and Brianna Stewart are unrestricted free agents. So if they decide to leave because of what the Liberty are trying to implement, which doesn't make a lot of sense right now, all of a sudden, things are wide open, and the Fever can jump right in and make a run at the championship with a healthy Caitlin Clark. The only concern you're going to have at that point is Stephanie White just implementing too much of her style because when you look at the roster, there's some players on this team that can play defense, muck things up, but they're more offensive centric. When you look at a team such as the Phoenix Suns, if the Suns decided to play a slower tempo with Steve Nash, that offense would look like trash. But no, they played to the players' strengths and what they had in that roster. And the Suns were very fun to watch. Look at the Detroit Pistons. If they decided to be more offensive-minded, then they wouldn't have won that championship. So it's all about what you have in your roster. And you can implement some of the defensive tactics, but you have to recognize what you have on this roster. Obviously, there's concerns there with Stephanie White. I'm not backing down from that. Like I've already said, she's coming back no matter what was going to happen in the playoffs, but she has a stronger argument to come back next season. I believe she will. But just look at the Fever. They have exceeded expectations, and this is great experience. I can't stress that enough because when it comes to the playoffs, every team who reaches the mountaintop goes through playoff adversity. They go through playoff losses, heartbreaks before they've reached the pinnacle. That might happen tomorrow, and it might happen next season. Even though they're going to be contenders, doesn't mean they're going to win it all. They might make the WNBA finals and lose and learn from that experience. It happens. We've seen that over and over again. No one's immune from playoff battles and playoff scars. So if the Fever end up making the WNBA finals and they lose, that's just another step in the right direction. I'm not saying that will happen, but we have to recognize every season isn't guaranteed. Like this season with the injuries. Hopefully that changes next year because they've had a lot of injuries. Of course, there's been some questionable foul calling. There's been some bad refereeing, but the Fever are right here, one win away. It would be something if they make the WNBA finals, they beat Asia Wilson without Caitlin Clark, and then they also play the Mercury in a rematch where DeWanna Bonner left that team. Pretty cool narratives, but it's going to be very difficult to beat the Aces in their building. They've got the championship experience. We have to acknowledge that. Right now, they're -7.5 favorites to win this game. I don't know. I just think what the Fever need to do tomorrow is keep it close. I would muck things up and make it frustrating on one of their core players, whether it's Chelsea Gray, again, she was 4 of 13, or maybe Jackie Young shoots 3 of 13 tomorrow. You got to frustrate them and make it tough. You can't expect Asia Wilson to be that bad, especially in a closeout game 5 to make the finals. But man, if Kelsey Mitchell's giving you 25 and Leah Boston can produce at this level, the Fever have a great shot. There's no doubt about it. But man, it's been an incredible season. So no matter the outcome, you got to be proud of this team. They've battled. And when it comes to Stephanie White with elimination games right now, she's 2-0. You go 3-0. If you want to count the WNBA Commissioner's Cup, that would make her 4-0. And this is without Caitlin Clark. I know that's a hard narrative to deal with, but it is what it is. I'm just happy for this team. And let's not act like Caitlin Clark has no impact. I'm sure she is helping her teammates on the sideline, pointing out things to attack. It's obvious she's definitely contributing in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, shout out to the Fever. They're exceeding expectations. They've already met where I want them to be at is the semifinals. No matter what happens, they're going to be back next year, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the Aces versus Fever in Game 5. Who do you have winning, and what are your expectations for the Fever if they make the WNBA Finals? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys later.